Now with my last requirement, and you know who's this? This is Yazar. And my last requirement of the project is to categorize 4 of your variables and create a tree diagram for 1 year. So we're picking 1 year that sorts your countries by count into the tree. So these could be like the variables that you have derived, and you know the variables you created, or like an original existing ones. So how would you do this? Going crazy. Okay. So this is, I picked this from my original data. I have, I called it tree data. Have country names, the population. Then I want to see, and then I have population growth, food production, and for example, livestock. And I want to see like, are countries with the biggest population, or countries like above average in their population and above average in the population growth, are they above average in food production and livestock? If they're not, they're probably in trouble. So over here, we're just gonna use a simple if function, and the logical test is this value greater than the average of the whole column. Oops. Not the C, the B column. And you want this to be you want the B5 to B12, the whole thing to be locked, so it wouldn't change when we autofill. Okay. So if the values are true, then above population average. If not, below population average. Okay, and then we autofill. That's it. Above, below, above, below. Then you can simply copy this and put it here. We only need to change the B's into D's. Instead of above population average, above population, above growth average. Oops, and I don't D2 if it's greater than the average from D2 above growth average. If not, it's I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, this is DB, it's just only D2. Sorry. Okay, above growth average and the autofill. Awesome. Then your third variable is food production for this country above or below the average. Same thing. So I'm going to copy this equation and paste it here. Instead of the D's, we want F's. And instead of growth, above production. Above production average, below production average, and so on. And then livestock, same thing. Read this equation, put it here, instead of the F, over the H. And above livestock average, below livestock average. And we autofill. So now I know for those four variables, are these countries above or below the average? Then simply just insert a pivot table. I want to get a new worksheet. I'm going to call this tree diagram. And tree diagram and pivot table is really a piece of cake. If you want to start with population, for example, above average, below average, you only have to put the countries and values to count them. So for above population average, there's 27 countries, below the average 1 in 24. And those countries, we have 6 countries on the 27 above average, 6 countries above the growth average, where 21 is below it, and you just drag then food production, and you can see, and the countries that are above the average in population, above the average in growth, there's only one country above production average, where 5 countries below the production average, which means this is probably an issue that they should address. They're not producing food as much as they're growing as population, so there's big chance that a famine could happen. Then we put the livestock, and we can see that, okay, for country 27 countries above the average in their population, then we have 6 countries in those 27 above the average in their growth as a population, then 1 country above the average in the production, and only 1 country above the average, and that was the production of food, and certainly the production of livestock. Where 5 countries below the average in production food, 3 of them above the average in livestock, and 2 of them below the average. Simply after you do this, you can take this now to Microsoft Word and create your tree diagram. How would you do this? In Word is really just a piece of cake. Go to Insert, stop doing this to me. Go to Smart Art, and I want to hierarchy. Can choose horizontal, vertical. I pick this one. Maybe I want to change the page layout, the orientation to be a landscape. Okay, so now we can see different levels, and I want 4 levels. Stop doing this, please. Okay, so I want 4 levels, not 3 levels, because I have 4 variables. So how would you add another level? So for example, the first one I can just simply put here countries, and I have here 150 countries, right? So I know here when it comes to population, I have 27 above average. I have 124 below the So what about the other levels? How would you, so we know like we need another node like this. How would I add one like these? So when you go to design, you can just add a shape. Once you add a shape next to it, so we can solve this problem. But how would you add another level? If you add a shape below, it just add another level for you, and add a shape will add one of the same level. You can promote or demote a level, any node, and that will change its location. So just play with this. So now here I added a fourth level. You can here just add a shape. If it's on the same level, demote it, and it will go down. Another shape. Then here, add a shape. Demote this, another shape. So you have fourth level. So I have here population. Then after population, gonna kill me. We have the growth rates. Then to be able to add text. Now production, food production. This is my fourth, and the fifth is live stock. And simply here you can just add shapes as much as you want to be able to draw the whole, construct the whole tree, and then start taking the values from your pivot table and plug it into your hierarchy tree, or the decision tree. And that's the last requirement in the project. I would assume that such a project wouldn't take more than an hour and a half from you. So good luck.